Chairman Wyckoff. Woo, hey, sorry. Chairman Wyckoff.
I am here.
Commissioner Brooks. Here. Commissioner Marr.
Here.
Commissioner Latzo. Commissioner Noble.
Here.
Commissioner Connolly.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. We have a quorum. Thank you. Looking for any public comment. Seeing no one actually in the room, I'm going to guess we don't have any public comment. Did we receive any correspondence online from anyone for public comment? Nope. Okay, moving right along. We'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the March 7th meeting. Anyone?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
I'll second that.
Perfect, thank you. We have a motion and a second. And would you please call the vote on that?
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Latzo.
Yes.
Commissioner Connolly.
Yes.
Commissioner Marr.
Yes.
Commissioner Noble.
Yes.
Chairman Wyckoff.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, on to new business. Item A under new business is TCH 2022-09, zoning category R3. What do you got for us?
Okay, so this will sound very similar to last month's when we went through all the commercial zoning. A lot of the same changes. So I'll just go through each section. And then if you look at your zoning map that I provided for y'all today, you can see the R3 zoning district. It's everything that's west of Gulf Boulevard, and then there's a few other places that it shows up on the east side of Pelican Lane, south of 150th, and then over here across the street. So that's everywhere that's in that R3 zoning district. So section 110-226, definition, purpose, and intent. The resort facilities medium category is a reference to the City of Madeira Beach's comprehensive plan and not the countywide plan. Section 110-230, minimum building site area requirements, which is on page 11 of your packet. This amendment is to replace tourist with hotel. The entire R3 zoning category allows for nightly rentals. This can be confusing since all residential units can be used for tourist use but do not operate like a hotel. The density table in subsection 4 should not be under minimum building site area but under the section that discusses density and intensities. Section 110-231, setback requirements. This is on page 12. 1B replaces tourist with hotel. 4B replaces tourist with hotel and amends the side yard setback for all multifamily hotels and restaurants to be 10 feet, which is 10 feet on both sides. Provisions in subsection 110-236 must be met, one of which includes additional 5 feet of setback. This is used for landscape screening when a multifamily or non-residential use abuts a single-family duplex or triplex. This is similar to those changes for C3 and C4 that we made last month. Section 110-232, maximum building height, which is on page 12. The code measures height from the base flood elevation plus freeboard, which is known as design flood elevation. The references to stories could create a conflict, and this amendment is consistent with the other parts of the code and what we amended last month as well. Section 110-233, maximum lot coverage. This is on page 12 and 13. Subsection 1, the floor area ratio, or FAR, for single-family homes in R1 and R2 zoning districts. You can see this on your map. That's the yellow and orange. The FAR for single-family homes in those districts is 0.8. Many homes in the R3 are over this 0.65 FAR. So staff proposes to increase the FAR to a single-family homes to 1. This is consistent with the City of Madeira Beach Comprehensive Plan and the countywide rules. 2, this amendment is copied from Section 110-230, Minimum Building Site Area Requirements. Section 110-234, Impervious Surface Ratio, or ISR. ISR amendment is consistent with the City of Madeira Beach Comprehensive Plan and also reflects the ISR requirements in 110-233. Section 110-236, Special Requirements, which is on page 13 and 14. The amended B, this amendment makes multiple buildings on one lot have a minimum of 10 feet of separation internally instead of 1/2 of the building height. The code currently does not specify where this measurement of height begins. So this is similar to the amendments that we made on C3 and C4. Uh, 110-236 on page 13 and 14. Is that? Oh, I think that's actually supposed to be A. Sorry, that was supposed to be A, not B.
Okay, that's where
Then,
you were, lost me. Okay.
Sorry. No, I'm talking pretty fast. And then the amendment in subsection D, so this amendment requires multifamily or non-residential uses to have an increase in 5 feet of setback when next to single-family, duplex, or triplex. So this setback would include the landscape screening, and that's similar to the C3 and C4 amendments. And then the removed D, the county allows for higher densities through the countywide plan rules, but Madeira Beach does not qualify for this allowance, nor does Madeira Beach agree to allow higher densities. And those were in some of those sections last month that we looked at as well. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you for that. Anyone have any questions for the city? Crickets? Okay, so I'll pose my question here, and that we're changing tourist dwellings to hotel to clarify the situation, because in those zoning categories, we have single-family homes that are being operated as though they were tourist dwellings.
Yes, we also have condos. A lot of the condos are being operated as like nightly rentals, and they're
Right.
allowed to do that in that zoning district. They're not allowed in R1 and R2, but
Right.
in that R3, you could do nightly rentals. So if someone has a house or a condo that's being used as a tourist use, it gets kind of gray. It's a gray area. So just clarifying that, because hotels are built completely different than a condo or a single family.
Right, well, we also have different density allowances for hotel
Yes.
versus single-family.
Correct.
Okay. There was another question there somewhere. All right, so we're considering under section 110-231 4B, where we've changed tourist dwellings to hotels. It's multifamily and multifamily hotels and restaurants. So we're not considering duplex and triplex multifamily.
So that's
It's 4 units or more is what we're defining as multifamily.
Yes.
Is that somewhere else in our
I
code?
think that's in the definitions
Okay.
section as well.
All right, as long as that's clear for when people are going to work on their development stuff. Okay. Then the change to the floor area ratio of 1, is there something behind that, or is that just a thing that we've looked back and seen that a lot of our stuff is already non-conforming because of that?
Correct.
So we're trying to backfit it?
Yes. We've been looking at a lot of the FAR due to like this activity center and looking at the floor area ratios along Gulf Boulevard. And a lot of them are over that 0.8, closer to that 1. There's not that many single-family homes in that district as well. There's only a handful.
Okay.
And that .65 is lower than R1 and R2, so I don't know how that was originally.
Yeah, that's
made.
interesting.
Yeah,
Because a lot of those are smaller lots too.
exactly.
For the individual lots that might have a single-family home on it, they're smaller lots over there.
Yeah, they're really
I have
small.
one of them, and I know. So it would be hard to rebuild something under that floor area ratio requirement.
Exactly.
Okay. Now that I've dominated that whole thing, anybody else got anything?
So going back to the hotel, change in verbiage, so somebody that's had a condo in that area or a home that they've been renting, okay, they've been short-term renting it, okay, and so, what happens now if this goes through? They're not allowed to do that anymore.
Oh, no, they're still allowed to do that. That doesn't change anything of this. It's just making it a little bit more clear, because it seems that the code is trying to say tourist as in hotel, but those are actually being used as a tourist use, so it's just kind of like it's unclear. It's a little gray area, so we're just trying to make it extremely clear of multifamily hotel and then related uses versus a single family that could be used as a tourist use, like nightly rentals and the duplexes and triplexes.
That makes sense for you, sort of?
Sort of, yeah, I just wonder what happens if somebody's been doing that.
Oh, nothing. They can keep on doing that.
Yeah, I think.
They're allowed to do nightly rentals right now, and this doesn't change any of
Yeah,
that.
I think where the lines are getting blurred is it a construction style or a use that we're talking about, right? Where if it's a single-family home in this district, it can be used for tourist dwelling,
Correct.
but it's not a hotel.
Or if someone comes in, they're like, well, we're going to build a duplex, but we're going to be doing nightly rentals.
Still a duplex.
So then you see like in the FAR and ISR and all this stuff, it's like, well, it's a tourist use, but it's not technically a
But
hotel.
it's not a hotel.
So it's a little contradictory. So
Yeah.
it's just cleaning that up.
Okay.
Yeah, I get the intent. It's still a little bit confusing, as you're saying, but you have to define use versus building style, I guess, really, right?
Yes,
'Cause
yeah.
in these, like, I own a single-family home in this zone, and it's actually a duplex, so but it's not a hotel, 'cause even though I use it like one, right? We do nightly rentals and all that stuff, but it wouldn't fall under the hotel category because it's a home. So it's use versus style, I guess, is
Yes.
what we need to make sure we define, right? Okay, makes sense to me. Anybody else got anything? Well, if someone would like to make a motion, we would hear it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to pass TCH 2022-09.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Well, I forgot to ask for public comment, but seeing that nobody's here, I don't think I'm going to get any opposition or yays or nays. So, okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion among the board on the motion? If there isn't, we'll call the roll, please.
Commissioner Latzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Marr,
Yes.
Commissioner Noble,
Yes.
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes.
Chairman Wyckoff.
Yes.
Thank you. 6-0.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. New business item B, comprehensive plan updates letter for the DEO.
Yes. So every local government in Florida is required through the Florida statutes to review and update their comprehensive plan. The local government is required to send a letter to the Department of Economic Opportunity, the DEO, which states all the required updates to the comprehensive plan. After the letter is provided to the DEO, the local government has a year to make all the required updates. The city of Madeira Beach received this letter notifying the city has a deadline for this letter on May 1st, 2022. And this letter must be reviewed by Planning Commission and Board of Commissioners before it is sent to the DEO. And on the dais, there is a copy of the drafted letter. And as you can see, there are 2 amendments that the city must meet, which are peril of flood and private property rights. And these are governed by the Florida statutes. That is all I have.
All righty. Any public input on the matter? All right, seeing none. Anyone have any questions for the city? No one? Good. All right. It looks like a reasonable request and response by the city to the DEO, so we'll hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the comprehensive plan updates letter for the DEO.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion among the board members about the motion? Good. All right, we'll call the roll.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Latzo,
Yes.
Commissioner Marr,
Yes.
Commissioner Noble,
Yes.
Commissioner Connolly,
Yes.
Chairman Wyckoff.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so that ends our new business. Anyone have any, do we have any old business hanging out? I don't think we do. Any administrative or staff presentations that we need to hear about?
Nope.
Wow.
I know.
Okay. Any discussion amongst the members of the planning commission? Anything you'd like to bring forward for the good of the group or the city?
And I just mentioned one quick thing, and that is, we now obviously have a vacancy with Ray moving on to the Board of Commissioners. So I believe we are out advertising for the vacancy that we have here.
Oh, yeah,
And
I meant to
so
ask about that.
I think we've received a couple applications so far, and I can't remember right offhand the date of when folks have to have it in. It's maybe like middle of the month, but I could be wrong. So I think once we get all those in, then those go to the board, and then they'll make a decision on who
Okay,
comes in.
are we in a
next.
cycle where they would be ready for the next meeting? Do we know?
I'm not sure. I don't
Okay.
think
It's not on the
next
schedule
agenda.
for the next
I think it'll be the
VOC.
one after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably be in May.
And I'm looking at the schedule, next meeting scheduled for May 2nd, and I don't know if it matters terribly, but I will be out of town for that May 2nd date. So if there's enough to have a quorum, fine and dandy, but if
Yeah.
not,
I will also be out of town on May 2nd.
oh, there we go.
Okay.
As always with work, I don't know if I will or won't yet.
You're,
I'll try to make the
whole
calls
time,
then,
not
the end of the previous week, just to make sure so that we're not doing kind of a last minute switcheroo on
okay,
everybody.
yeah, because I am for certain going to be, I'll be in Maryland
Okay.
for the whole week, so, for real estate meeting thing, not that it matters, but I will be gone. So the following week would be workable for me, if that were possible. I don't know about anybody else, but that's what's on my schedule.
Okay. If not, we may end up canceling and pushing. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, and if we don't have anything pressing and we need to cancel it, we can do that as well.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. It looks like that's it. Anything else from anyone? All right, this meeting's adjourned.